All right, next team.
All right, Baltimore Ravens. This one's funny. We
Feeling
just we
dangerous.
get done with the Raiders, and then we just Baltimore Ravens.
I I know everyone is going to say they're Super Bowl. They're going to win the Super Bowl this year. I think they lose the divisional to the
The
Bills.
Colts, right? Oh, sorry.
Oh, the Colts. Yeah, the Colts. They lose to the Colts. No, I think the Bills make it to the Super Bowl. I mean, we've already seen how that game will go down. I mean, I know it's different in the playoffs, but Lamar is worse in the playoffs. So
Right. I
it's
don't know that either. I don't know that either of these teams currently has a playoff boost. Like their current playoff reputation for both of them is just losing to the Chiefs.
yeah.
Um, I don't know. Like
Chiefs might not make it. I hope not. That'd be sick. Anyway,
I don't know. The Ravens, like I don't know. On the one
their
hand,
defense
the
still
Ravens.
sucks.
Do you watch football?
Yes, I
Anyway,
do.
I'm moving past that comment about the Ravens'
Okay, so
incredible
I'm
defense.
comparing I'm comparing their defense to what they've had in the past. Sorry, I'm using my brain to think about history, and they've had like Ray
Well, no,
Lewis,
they
and now
don't have
they've got
they.
like
Yeah, they don't have Ed Reed out there and Ray Lewis. No kidding. Like that's not a thing. But they have Kyle Hamilton and Roquan Smith, and for the modern NFL, that's about what you need, especially when your offense is Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry and Zay Flowers, who might be good now. I guess I don't even know.
it
Zay
won't
Flowers
matter
is
when Lamar Jackson chokes in the playoffs. It doesn't matter.
right. With them, I'm just kind of like I'll believe it when I see it.
I
Like
think they're
if it
feeling
happens,
dangerous.
they have to at least be okay. The thing is, the Bills game is like about as good as you can possibly look and feel about your team while still losing. And then you come out against the Brown. Wait, what's the Brown? Yeah, the Browns this week. Derrick Henry gets like no yardage. He had like
That was fun to
he
watch.
had like six,
I'm a
7 yards
hater. A
the
hater.
entire like most of the game until the last few minutes. He got like 20 more. Um, And yet at the same time, they were still able to just put up points because Lamar is an incredible passer. He gets lost sometimes by casual fans. Incredible thrower of the football. They still just put up points all over what is admittedly a bad defense. But when my point being, they did not need Derrick Henry to put up points. They can beat you in so many ways. Like they anything below feeling dangerous is a travesty. I think feeling dangerous is fine. I'm not gonna say they're ecstatic about how the season is going, but you know, 1-1, the
The
one
Bills
loss
own them,
being
so let's just move on.
the Chiefs own both of them until further notice.
All right. Well,
Once
they were
again,
going
believe
to.
it when I
So
see it. They're like if that game happens in the playoffs, and I'm saying this either of those teams against the Chiefs, that like if that was happening right now, like if the playoffs were suddenly just week 3 and one of these teams had to play the Chiefs, they would be a 10-point favorite, and this game it would somehow be a 3-point game in the fourth quarter. And like the Chiefs would have multiple chances to somehow win the game. For some reason, like Lamar would run backwards out of his own end zone for a safety. Josh Allen would throw an interception just directly to Chris. Like something insane would happen.
and
So
then
like
and
I'm
then like a bunch of people would get like pass interference calls that weren't there.
Anyway, yeah, I'll believe when I see it. Ravens are going and feeling dangerous. I'm not moving them higher than that.
I
I
agree.
don't know. They're
I,
great.
no need to
All right,
argue. I agree. Let's move on.
same division. Pittsburgh Steelers. What do we
Bad.
think?
I think they're feeling gnashing of teeth right now. They lost to the Seahawks.
They are
Seahawks are
not
supposed to
feeling
suck.
gnashing of teeth.
Fine, sweating. Aaron Rodgers is old, and their defense is too expensive to be good.
Honestly,
We can't
okay,
put them in chilling. We can't put them in chilling. So we got to put them in gnashing of teeth or sweating, and either one's good with me. So you make your pick.
okay, but like it's basically you going off of the week 1 performance or the week 2 performance, and like the
The
week
week
1
one
performance.
performance where their best defense in the country got just annihilated by Justin Fields, who later went on to play the Bills, and then got 7 fantasy points. The
Okay,
Steelers defense is awful. They're overpaid. Uh, and the
right.
Aaron Rodgers looks good, but next time he takes a sack, he's going to be out for the rest of the season. I just don't think they're. I don't think it's sustainable. I think they're done.
So Aaron Rodgers, if you didn't see, that's another viral clip from this weekend. Is him escaping the pocket to his right, and like outrunning a pass rusher and throwing this ridiculous ball
He's still 50.
dot down the field. Yeah, so I think what I assumed, I wasn't a believer in the Steelers, but I think what a lot of people assumed is if the Steelers win games, it will be because the defense is carrying them and Aaron Rodgers is just kind of there. He's able to prop up the offense. Now, if the Steelers win games, it's going to be because Aaron Rodgers and the offense are winning the games. Where I'm at now is I just actually don't think their defense is good. Like what you just said,
It's
I
bad.
don't think
It's
it's good.
bad.
The Jets and the Seahawks, the Jets slaughtering that defense, like you think maybe the Jets are going to be good, and you start Justin Fields at 4 of your
And then you
fantasy leagues,
trade for Justin Fields.
right? I don't know. Like suddenly after week 2, I feel like we got a lot of clarity on the Steelers, and none of it was good on the defense. And I feel like the offense can still be passable, although the running game is non-existent. But running games with Arthur Smith are difficult, and with Aaron Rodgers are impossible to do. I don't know. I think really it depends. What do we think expectations really were? Because if we're saying they had really high expectations, then they're in sweat. If the expectations were like maybe another 9-8 season, then I think they're just chilling because I think
I
Aaron
think they're
Rodgers can
sweating.
still.
I know some
You know,
Steelers fans. They thought they were going to be Super Bowl contenders. They're in chilling. They're not in chilling. I mean, that's why I think
yeah,
even gnashing of teeth because I know some guys who thought the Steelers were Super Bowl contenders, and they are not that.
I don't know. Steelers with all the injured teams feels wrong, but Steelers next to the Broncos feels like spiritually aligned in some way, even though it's like the exact opposite vibe in some ways too.
Yeah,
So yeah, we're gonna put the Steelers in sweating. I think I'm good with that. All right. Who else we got? Let's go to their opponent in week 2, Seattle Seahawks. Won one game against the Steelers,
I think they're
lost their
feeling
first game.
dangerous. I like the Seahawks a lot this year.
I I think they're feeling dangerous too. I think the running game
Would you
has kind
agree?
of
I didn't think
yeah.
we'd agree on this one. I thought I was going to have like a hike, but you would be like, oh, I think they're sweating or something like that. But we agree that they're feeling dangerous. That's awesome.
Well, I like their defense. I think their defense is incredibly
Oh,
underrated.
it's like Green
Like
Bay Seahawks.
I don't know if I'd go quite that far, but it's probably a top 5 defense. Like, that's my gut feel. I think we're gonna look back at the end of the season, and they're just gonna be one of the top defenses. It looks really good through a couple of weeks. Now their opponents have been the 49ers, who may not be as good as
No,
advertised, and then the
they
Steelers.
don't. They played a healthy 49ers. All right, healthy 49ers are Super Bowl contenders.
Yeah,
Right
actually,
now
take
they
that
aren't
off the record.
healthy, but
Take that off the record. I think looking at my screen right now and seeing 49ers and Steelers in the second to bottom tier by this metric influenced that statement I just said. I literally just said I think the Steelers have a passable offense. So, starting that statement, Seahawks defense is good, which was what I believed anyway. Running game is weird because I think we thought Clint Kubiak coming in, offensive coordinator, he's gonna zone running scheme. The I don't know, Kenneth Walker and Zach Charbonnet is just an ongoing thing that's a problem and also not a problem, and then they both look good and they both look horrible, and I somehow end up with them both on all of my fantasy teams because I obsessively draft Seahawks running backs. I would always have Chris Carson on my team back in the day. It's a genuine problem. Every Seahawk running back ends up on every team I own. Um,
I like the Seahawks. I think they're feeling dangerous.
yeah, I think it's really dangerous. I mean, Jackson the Jigba is incredible. He's getting all the targets and still producing. If something happens in Jackson and Jigba, not to jinx it, it's a major problem because I don't know what else you do on that offense. I don't know who you throw to. Cooper Cup doesn't look
You know what
particularly
you do?
good.
You get Jalen Milrow on the wideout.
Put Darnold at wideout.
All
Anyway,
right,
yeah,
next
I don't
team.
know. Okay, so feeling dangerous on the Seahawks with the caveat that they're one injury away from being toast on offense because I don't think an offense of Darnold and Kenneth Walker and the ghost of Cooper Cup is sustainable. But the defense could keep them in games. All right, so 3 more left in 1-1. Washington Commanders. We already discussed them a little bit, but
They're
they have
chilling.
to be sweating at least. This is
Sweating.
not.
I don't know. I feel like they should be chilling just because Green Bay is like Super Bowl contender. So like losing to them is not a big deal. I think they should. I think they're chilling. But if you want to put him in sweating, you can.
Well, I'm okay. I'm basing my sweating take is based off Starlights. First of all, Jaden Daniels already injured. That's not
He'll be
good.
fine.
Like hopefully he'll be back soon. Like I'm not saying I think it's a season long thing, but it's already a problem. Terry McLaurin does not look like he held out. He had a great season last year. He holds out for big contract and then just comes back after getting the contract. By the way, he's like at 30 years old, gets top money, and he just has not looked that good through 2 weeks at all. Like Debo Samuel is their like number one wideout, and that's not a shot at Debo Samuel at all. It's sure like we should be seeing more from Terry McLaurin.
Yeah.
And of course we're probably gonna get Mariota next week, so that's kind of whatever happens there happens. But I don't know, like I they have no pass rush. It's just I mean, it really was last year a team full of like old, overpaid veterans that they brought in as mercenaries around Jaden Daniels, and that team kind of like played at its ceiling all season because Daniels was awesome. Now I kind of feel like this, like I feel like we might get a season of like Daniels is still good, but the team just kind of plays more to its central tendency instead of at its ceiling. I
Yeah.
think you're sweating, honestly, if you're a Commanders fan right now. Like,
Yeah. Sweating.
but
That sounds
I'm
good.
will. Okay, we agree, locking it in. Suddenly, sweating is the biggest tier. We have six in there right now. All right, two more teams in 1-1. We have the America's team, Dallas Cowboys. What are the thoughts? How much are we gonna fight over this? Let's
Okay.
go.
So if you were realistic at the beginning of the season, you'd be chilling. But they're Dallas Cowboys fans, so I think that they are definitely sweating, if not in gnashing of teeth.
Okay, I'm actually gonna disagree with you on that because here's why. I want you to think through this offseason from a Dallas fan perspective. This is like the first offseason in a while where the entire thing was we kind of just got like not really better and possibly worse. And I don't know, I was kind of seeing like a lot of Dallas fans had already turned on Jerry Jones. Like early in the summer, they were like Jerry is which and they probably turned on him like years ago. But they were like Jerry's old, he's running this team into the ground. He's overpaying. We have an over okay, Dallas fans, people hate Dak Prescott for no reason. Um, but then the Micah Parsons trade right before the season, like suddenly every Dallas fan is convinced that this team is a complete dumpster fire. So my read on this is actually that their expectations for once were actually kind of low, like immediately coming into
Oh.
the season.
Hmm.
Well, I mean, think about it. Like they were
Yeah.
already not feeling great, and then trading away Micah Parsons, which would like no fans agreed with almost. I don't know. I think Cowboys' expectations for themselves were actually lower this season than normal. And
Hmm.
so I think by that metric, I think they're kind of just chilling. Like Dak Prescott looks good. Javante Williams looks good, which is not something I ever thought would happen. I thought the guy was completely toast, and he still might. He doesn't
Yeah.
look particularly fast out there, but he's getting the touches, and the offensive line is good enough to move. CeeDee Lamb had some brutal drops week one, but he's still that guy. Like when they got into crunch time this Sunday, Dak was just feeding CeeDee Lamb the ball like as much as he could, except for really important plays when he would suddenly just target Tolbert for no reason. George Pickens caught a touchdown this Sunday to keep them in the game, and
I liked George Pickens until this weekend.
they did win what turned into a close game against the Giants, which of course that's also the downside is they somehow got into a shootout with the New York Giants. But
The New York Giants. That's why I'm thinking purgatory. Like whatever that bottom thing is, it's like,
national team, I don't like, the defense is just bad. Like until further notice, their defense is bad. I
yeah,
don't know. Maybe sweating is the most appropriate here because the defense is genuinely a major problem.
yeah.
I'm kind of blinded by. I feel the need to overcompensate for people who hate on Dak Prescott because I think he's genuinely playing really well. Like,
I mean, he's getting players ejected left and right. So
and having Dak and CD and Pickens and a good offensive line, and if you have Javante Williams in a running game, like that's a very hard offense to stop. but the defense is bad enough that you're getting into shootouts with the New York Giants. So maybe you are
Yeah,
just completely sweating. Again, I think
yeah.
it's relative to expectations. Maybe they are chilling if expectations were really as low as my read was, but I don't know. I think putting them in sweating. So one more team in the 1-1 tier. We have the one and only Jacksonville Jaguars, your
Gnashing
girlfriend's
of
favorite
teeth.
team.
Gnashing of teeth. I hate the Jacksonville Jaguars. I don't even care what the actual thing is. I just think they should feel bad all the time about everything.
Okay, so I feel weird about the Jaguars. Trevor Lawrence, generational
Sucks. He
talent,
sucks. No, he's awful.
generationally average was the headline this week. Someone wrote an article. Liam Cohen, like I kind of still think that Liam Cohen as a coach is going to work. Like I think he's going to at some point build a great offense. It may not include Trevor Lawrence if you're done years on the road, but I do think it's going to happen. Um, Bashal Tootin, the rookie running back, looks good. Travis Etienne looks good again, which people
Mhm.
like were so out on Travis Etienne. He looks like that guy again, which he is Trevor Lawrence's like best friend. They were never getting rid of the guy. They traded Tank Bigsby, which means Bashal Tootin is, officially the running back two. You even maybe get some Quinn Allen reps, running back three. But I don't know. On the other hand, Britton Strange is your tight end. Already kind of a no, like not a no name, but kind of a no name. Like people knew who he was, but didn't really know who he was. He hasn't really broken out at all. Um, Brian Thomas Jr. is my main like. I want to scream and throw things about Brian Thomas Jr.
Oh, you picked him so early. Like, how did anyone let him fall this far? After telling me that you wouldn't have picked Malik Neighbors if it fell to you.
Did I see that?
You said that to me. You said that to me during the draft. You said I wouldn't have picked Malik Neighbors if he fell to me because he's on the Giants. You told me that.
I don't
And you
know.
told me
Maybe that was
James Cook was a bad running back.
okay. Now that take I absolutely had, and I kind of apologize for that. I admit that I absolutely believe that James Cook would just immediately regress this season. Like I was avoiding him hard. I I don't know. I think I was avoiding neighbors because of the injuries and because of the Giants. It also may have been relevant to like Derrick Henry was still on the board with my pick, which
Mm.
that's been an up and down experience. That's been 40 points one week and then 6 the next week. I'm telling you, if all my players do well at the same time, y'all are screwed. But until that point, I'm just gonna be like one of the worst
I'm
teams
gonna
in the
lose to
league.
Jaden. Oh, bleep that. Bleep that. Oh.
Um. Okay. Anyway, back on topic.
Jacksonville sucks. I don't like him.
Okay, but Brian Thomas, week one, I was like, okay, he and Trevor Lawrence are fluid and on the same page. Like he got a lot of targets. Week two, Bengals. He
Yeah.
looked genuinely horrible. I don't know if you saw any of that. He looked scared to catch the ball. And there's a thing now that he might have a wrist injury, and maybe that's causing it. But the game-winning throw, I think it was in the end zone. Trevor Lawrence tries to throw to him between two defenders. It gets to him. He just slows down and decides not to catch the ball. He's playing
That's
like he's
crazy.
terrified of getting hit. I don't know if it's because Trevor Lawrence is throwing hard to like he feels like he's going to get injured on. I don't think it's that bad. Like I think if that's what it is, to overreacting. I don't know if he
Do you think
also
he's
like
just
hurt
like
his.
lost trust? Do you think he lost trust in Trevor Lawrence?
That's what I'm wondering. I also don't know if he like hurt his wrist once now and he's like scared of getting hurt again. But he's playing like he's just mentally out of it. Like
Mm.
he's not there right now. And he needs to get back into it because he was absolutely dominant for stretches last season. Like I even saw a buzz around Brian Thomas as like a possible like top 3, 4, 5 wide receiver in the league this season. And it's just not happening like right off the bat. And he still got a bunch of targets this Sunday against the Bengals. And he just did nothing with him because he apparently doesn't want to catch a football. And I hope he turns it around, like for the sake of just the NFL in general. Like it's better if Brian Thomas is out there looking good. But I mean, that was a rough watch. I don't know what that was about. And then I'm also vaguely disturbed by Travis Hunter and just his entire thing so far because you trade 2 first round picks for a guy who is supposed to be able to play both wide receiver and defensive back. And of course, kind of the expectation was we're going to do one or like we're not going to make him play 100% of snaps. But so far, he does not look like a particularly good wide receiver or defensive back. Like, that is my issue. He does not look
You
that
know,
great, and
who told you that?
it's week okay, it's week 2. It is week 2, it's 2 weeks in. But when you trade 2 first-round picks to go up and get a guy, I would hope he would be, like, a game changer, at least at one of those positions, and you paid the price of 2 top players for him. So,
You know
hopefully
who kind of
both.
told you that? This guy.
Okay, I feel like you had, like, 5 different Travis Hunter takes during
My
offseason, and I
initial
kind
Travis
of
Hunter take was I didn't think he was that good, and then I saw him like during practice working really hard to get his routes down. I was like, hey, maybe he'll be pretty good, and then he wasn't. So I was kind of right.
well, I mean, my
I was like,
Travis
hey, he's
Hunter
putting a
take
lot of
is
work
just,
in, you
like,
know.
I don't dislike him, but, like, aren't you supposed to, like, be really good? Like, why are you not being really good? Like, also, worth pointing out, the Jaguars' 2 opponents so far are the Panthers, who had, like, one of the worst defense in history last season, and the Bengals, who famously, like, don't pay their
Suck at
defense or put
defense,
any
yeah.
effort into it to the point of it being, like, a major problem in the locker room. I don't think it's going to get easier for their offense. Like, I think this was as easy as it gets, and it already looks incredibly dysfunctional. Trevor Lawrence is, like, waving off his head coach, which might be no big deal. Like, Bo Nix screams at Sean Payton, and that's fine. But, like, I like, it should get harder from here, and I don't think the offense is prepared for it to get harder because I don't think the offense was prepared for it to be easy. I don't know. Like, I don't know. I don't feel like I'm gnashing teeth with them because,
I
like,
think we are.
I don't know.
I feel like Trevor Lawrence might as well be injured. I feel like everyone on that team might as well be injured because they're not going to play well. Travis Etienne's like the only good thing about that team that I can tell.
Yeah, I guess, like, the good vibes I'm getting are from, like, the coaching side and from the offense, like, the
But if
running
like
backs, the run he's going to turn, like, Etienne and or Tootin into Bucky Irving like he did last year. Like, they're going to be good running the football, I think. I think it's going to look semi-competent if they can get any passing game going.
I
I don't
don't.
know.
It's like even if the coaching is immaculate, you can tell that like Trevor Lawrence, the leader of the team, doesn't respect the coaches. I mean, you can tell from
You know
that
what?
one interaction.
You know
He
what?
doesn't respect the coaches.
I'm gonna agree with you. You know what? The Jaguars are going in Nash and Teeth because of Brian Thomas Jr. And I might even rename this tier to Brian Thomas Jr. because I'm that upset about this, and he's just going to go. That's where he's going now. Like, I don't care. They're going in Nash and Teeth, and that was the 1-1 teams. So let's kind of look back at where we are so far. We have 4 teams in buying Super Bowl tickets, which are the Bills, Buccaneers, Colts, and Packers. That once again feels dirty to say that. It's like a genuine tier we just made that has the Colts in that. Um, None of the 1-1 teams made it there, obviously. Feeling dangerous, Chargers, Eagles, Lions, Ravens, Seahawks, which makes a lot of sense.
It's a
And
good list too.
then the team's kind of chilling. Rams, Cardinals, Falcons, Patriots. Again, there's a big talent disparity there. Like, we're not suggesting those teams are in some way equivalent to each other. But I feel like if you're a fan, you're just kind of like, yeah, I mean, it is what it is. Sweating is suddenly a huge tier with Bengals, 49ers, Vikings, Broncos, Steelers, Commanders, and Cowboys. And then the Nash and Teeth slash Brian Thomas Disappointment of the Week awards go to the Raiders and the Jaguars so far, with all the 0-2 teams left to go, and probably many of them join them there.
All right.
All right, let
Okay.
me go.
Browns.
All right. All right, so moving on to the 0-2 teams, the teams that have started with 2 straight losses and disappointed everyone involved or not, because that's what this whole tier list is about. My co-host here informed me that he has a very near and dear team to his heart that he'd like to start with. So,
Browns. Let's make a new
Wait, what
tier
are your
at the very bottom called the Browns because it's the Browns. You know, it's kind of like being in chilling, except chilling is you're gonna lose every game this season.
yeah. If I look up in 2 minutes and we have a tier in front of me on my laptop where that Browns helmet is above the 49ers logo, like a tier above it. That doesn't feel okay.
No.
But based on the definitions of what we set out to do here, I feel like you just said it, except you tried to add a tier of like Brown's purgatory, which like is true. But I think,
Expectations are
but
we're hitting them. They're hitting them, you know.
right, like they're not feeling dangerous, and maybe that tier should have been named something else because, like, if anything, I feel like Browns fans are probably slightly more enthusiastic, except they don't have a quarterback. Like Joe Flacco is not your long term solution, despite. But I mean, if you look at the team, like Miles Garrett is still obviously good. The defense looks pretty good. Like they held like Joe Burrow and the pre calamity Bengals. They held them to 20 points in like a 1 point game. On offense, I mean, again, your quarterback is Joe Flacco, and I don't think you have your quarterback of the future. Like, I don't think Dylan Gabriel is that guy. I don't think Shedeur Sanders is that guy. Maybe Kenny Pickett is that guy. But
Super Bowl
um,
winner, Kenny Pickett.
yes, notorious, incredible quarterback Kenny Pickett. But like, look at the rest of their offense. So Njoku is still Njoku. Like, I don't think he's bad until further notice. Dylan Sampson looked great week one. They're letting him catch passes, which wasn't something he did a ton of in Tennessee. Like, not that he didn't catch any passes, but that was
His
one of
junior
the
year, he did
questions
a
with
lot of
him
it.
was, yeah, he's what?
His junior year, he
My
caught a lot of
co-host is
passes.
shoving food into his mouth while trying to record this.
Yeah,
Anyway,
I am hungry. It's big
yeah,
night.
he got like quite a few targets week one. Looked good. And then Quinshawn Judkins comes in off of just like, will he ever play in the NFL? And just immediately leads the team in rush attempts and looks like semi competent doing it. And you would hope that he would get even better. Harold Fannin at tight end, who like quietly led all college players in, I think it was receptions this last season, and like no one knew about it. Just like walked in week one on the Browns and got like 7 catches immediately from Joe Flacco. So now they kind of have, which they like to run 2 tight end sets, I think. So that's kind of convenient to have another great tight end. Jerry Judy is a disappointment, like constantly, except when Jameis Winston is his quarterback. Cedric Tillman is the other wide receiver they have running 2 wide receiver sets, and he looks honestly better than Judy, and he looks like great and more than capable of being on the field in these 2 wide receiver sets. Like he's looked really good. So there's like several young, promising players suddenly on the Browns team. Like I feel like there's like a team of like there's a tier of I don't know. Like I feel like you're oddly optimistic about everything except the fact that you just don't have a quarterback. Also, your line isn't great, but like I don't know, you're the Browns. Like, I feel like you're chilling. I don't think you're not sweating. Like, you're not upset if you're a Browns
This
fan
is
with
what
how the
you
season
this is
is
what you
going.
came to expect.
Yeah, you're losing games, except like some of your players
Actually, kind
kind
of
of
close
look
this time.
good. Yeah,
Yeah,
so like we're chilling.
yeah, I think
And
we're
by
chilling.
we I mean Browns fans. I'm absolutely not one. Okay, who else we got here? How about the Houston Texans, who we kind of touched on earlier?
I think their
Hot
defense
takes
looks
probably coming
incredible.
here.
I think their defense looks incredible, but
Yeah, their defense is incredible, and it's the only reason, in my opinion, they're doing anything, possibly. I
Nico
mean, I said
Collins
they
didn't look
lost both
super
of their
good.
games. They're not doing anything, but
Nico
what?
Collins didn't look very good. CJ Stroud didn't look very good. Uh,
Nico
Nick
Collins
Chubb
had the
didn't look
one
good.
good catch. I think Nico
Yeah, but
Collins
no one looks
is
really good on
good.
the offense.
I don't know. They have no running back. They have at the moment, like Woody Marks could be that guy. They have no real running back. I mean, the thing with them is always the offensive line. It somehow never gets better. They actively try to make it worse, I think. It's basically an experiment to see like how bad of an offensive line can we give CJ Stroud. And he's currently not doing well in this experiment. Like he's
Not really.
CJ Stroud had a phenomenal rookie season. And last season and the first couple games of this year, he doesn't look good. And it's because of his offensive line. Like, I don't think CJ Stroud is suddenly a bad quarterback. I think his offensive line is horrible. And I think it's malpractice to expect him to become a franchise quarterback in these circumstances. Like, I don't know. Their offense looks completely inept. And I literally think it's 100% because of the offensive line. They don't have a running game either. You could probably do better with that, though. Like, literally, get it on. If their offensive line was like middle of the pack and they got like if they just had like, I don't even know, like one of these rookie running backs, like Cam Scatterbu, like Bashal too. I don't know. What like, or even Woody Marks on that team could be that guy instead of, like, wash, like, no legs left Nick Chubb as your running back 1. Like, I feel like if you just give them any hope on the offensive line, this is,
Yeah.
like, immediately a contender. Right now, it looks like a bottom of the league team almost just because they cannot get their offensive line worked out at all, and it's just a constant problem. Stroud has no time to throw. He can't find any like, the Rams game was awful. The Buccaneers game was mostly awful outside of a couple of good plays. Like, it's just it infuriates me to talk about because I like CJ Stroud at the end of the day, and I feel like he's good. And I feel like he's just not going to have a good career at the trajectory he's going because of his offensive line.
Yeah. And I don't like Nick
Anyway, that
Chubb.
was I mean, he
He
went to
went to
Georgia.
Georgia. Yeah. So,
Yeah,
yeah, I think we put him in sweating.
at least sweating. Like they tempt me to put
Maybe
them in
even
national
gnashing of
teeth.
teeth.
Well,
Yeah.
because this is supposed to be like a contender. And the
Yeah.
offense looks almost non-functional. Like, it wasn't like okay, they expected their line to be bad, right? Like, I'm not saying they thought their offensive line was gonna be good and it's suddenly bad, but they are 0-2 as a theoretical contender with CJ Stroud and a great defense, and they can't move the ball consistently at all because they have no running game and because Stroud can't buy time, do anything. I want to put them in Nash and teeth, and I don't think the Jaguars look so much worse than the Texans that I want to put the Texans a tier higher than them, honestly. I don't know. That's my thought.
Yeah. No, I agree. Gnashing of teeth is a good spot for him.
All right. Yeah. The entire AFC South is going to be a gnashing of teeth except the Colts. And I'm just going to like have to accept that we did that to ourselves and put the Colts in the top tier. Let's just do that. Well, okay. Tennessee Titans. We're just going to do it now. I know I just said we're putting them on national teeth. I don't really want to put them in national teeth because
I think
what did you
sweating.
really expect?
I think
I
sweating.
didn't put them in chilling because
Well,
you
because
knew
they
this team was
thought.
bad.
Well, no, they knew it was gonna be bad, right? But they thought that Cam Ward would be able to turn around. They just didn't. I don't know. The Titans fans I
It's
know
been
thought that
two
Cam Ward would turn
games.
it around. Yeah. Yeah,
It's
you're
been
right.
two
Chilling's a good
games. You
spot.
know,
Chilling's a good spot.
Cam Ward looks like him. I'm sorry. Watch him play. He is.
He's
I think
incredible, but
he's already the most like one of the most nonchalant quarterbacks in the league,
he's
which was kind of his
fantastic.
reputation already. Also,
No, he's
I think an
fantastic. It's just
underrated
everyone
that
around him sucks.
somebody I read said that they see it looks like defenders already hate Cam Ward. Like they're mocking him by doing like his celebrations. Like he's already drawing a lot of attention for just a random and I mean, he has an attitude. The guy eats, sleeps, reads football. Also, shout out Elic Ayumanor, the rookie wide receiver out of Stanford. He caught the touchdown from Cam Ward, which was a ridiculous throw across his body that probably gets
Oh,
intercepted a lot of
yeah,
times.
that
But
one.
he made it. It worked, so it was incredible. I think Ayumanor is legitimate. He's already the wide receiver too. If Calvin Ridley never figures anything out, he's going to be the wide receiver 1 on this team. Hot
I
take.
kind of hope Calvin Ridley doesn't figure anything out because, where he went to school.
Sure. Anyway, yeah,
Ooh,
I don't know. Like
Georgia.
I think the Titans are just chilling, and I think Cam Ward is him, and I think they should have fired Brian Callahan at the end of last season after 1 season and just start over fresh because I think this team he doesn't even know what a catch is and whether he should challenge a catch spot. But I mean, also
Yeah.
like every other player on this offense besides Cam Ward is basically a rookie or drops enough passes to be considered a rookie, or is Tony Pollard and gets like 20 carries a game just to run directly into a defensive tackle who someone on the offensive line let through like completely unblocked. So he finishes with like 20 carries for like 40 yards. I don't know. It's bad. There was that one play against Denver where Cam Ward goes to throw a screen and all three players are blocking for the screen and no one is out there to actually catch the
Yeah,
screen.
dude, he was like, he's ready. He knows what he's got to do, and then no one there is looking at him. It's
And
like
the
he's
throws he
so
makes when
good.
he
He
finds a
just,
receiver are incredible, like right off the hands.
oh yeah,
Also, also the throw from this week against the Rams defense. Also, Rams and Broncos is your first 2 D lines to start
Yeah.
out against as a rookie is crazy. Colts defense this week is not easy either. Like, this is bad, and I get that the Titans are bad, and so other teams look good in comparison, but schedule not doing him any favors. But anyway, he had that ridiculous pass. Well, week 1, he had the crazy pass where he, like, flipped it out to the s or whatever that was. This week, he had the one, like, falling down. And of course, the meme
Oh
is
yeah.
now Cam Ward is Will Levis if all the stupid things he tried worked, which is not accurate at
Good, yeah.
all because it's very different personalities, and I wouldn't wish that comparison on Cam Ward. But okay, I'm gonna say something crazy right now.
Go ahead.
Hot take. So think about Patrick Mahomes and just the style with which he plays. Out of every quarterback, every other quarterback in the league, Cam Ward reminds me the most of Patrick Mahomes. Not in
Don't
like his
call him my
personality.
homie. No.
He's
No.
looking a little Mahomey there. No, I not his
Except he
personality is
can
not.
stay cool when his offensive line is bad and he can like,
No, his
handle
personality
pressure.
is completely unlike Patrick Mahomes. I'm not comparing them personality-wise at all. I'm saying when I see them move on a football field, to
When I
me,
see Patrick
his
Mahomes moving on
movement.
football, he's getting sacked by the Eagles defensive line in the Super Bowl. I hate Patrick
But
Mahomes.
cool. Anyway, he went to
I'm letting
Alabama.
the
That's why.
podcast. I I'm letting the podcast
Sorry, he went to
person.
Georgia.
He went to Texas Tech.
Um, Patrick Mahomes won 4 national championships for Georgia and was drafted first overall to the Chiefs, and then Mitchell Trubisky went second to the Bears. That's how I remember it. Um, Anyway, yeah, I don't know. Cam
Next
Ward
team.
to me he has it. Titans are chilling. They can't be anything but chilling. Okay, 7 more teams. Okay, we did wait. I forgot to like mark several teams that we did, which I guess now I can just look at the icons because there's so few of them. All right, we just talked about Mahomes. Chiefs are 0-2.
I think you're
Great
gnashing
for
teeth right now.
content. They're absolutely gnashing teeth, dude. Like, what is happening? Like,
I don't even care. Let's just move on. I don't want to
they
talk
have
about the
no
Chiefs.
wide receivers. They have no like Mahomes is like single-handedly, he's like leading the team in rushing. Like that's a playoff stat. Like Mahomes gets into the playoffs and decides to run the football because it works. It's week 2 and he's already leading this team in rushing. They have no running backs apparently that can scare you. They have no wide receivers at the moment that can scare you. Someone pointed out that like in the last several years, if you think of the team that over the last several years has had like the worst receiving core, the Patriots are either like the team you come up with immediately or they're near the top of the list. Like the Patriots have just not had good wide receivers. The Chiefs at the moment have 2 players getting significant playing time at wide receiver that were cut from the Patriots the last few years. They have Juju Smith-Schuster and they have Tyquan Thornton is like their deep threat right now with Xavier Worthy out, which he did catch a touchdown on Sunday. So they are literally it's like the Texans building an offensive line out of all the bad players from other offensive linemen that those teams from offensive lines that got dismantled by their teams. The Chiefs did that at wide receiver and just built like other teams' rejects, and then Rasheed Rice is just like should probably be in jail, and then Xavier Worthy got taken out 3 plays in, and now all they have left is just other teams' rejects, and it's just bad. And I don't know, like the defense, I think is still good, but not great. And I mean, just to start 0-2 when you're the Chiefs and you have the aspirations you do, that's Nash and teeth category. And the fact that right now the Chiefs and the Texans and Jags are in the bottom tier on my screen and the Colts are still at the top, and it's annoying me every time I look at it. But I mean, I like even if I was a Chiefs stan, I genuinely couldn't argue right now that the Chiefs should be any higher. So yeah, it is what it is. Okay, all right, let's go AFC East. So 2 teams here. New York Jets, how we feeling? 0-2.
Bad. Very bad.
I
Very,
think you're
very bad.
sweating. I think you're
Yeah,
sweating.
sweating. Because you
Um,
kind of expect to not be good, and then the first game you're like, hey, we might be good, and then you go back to being not good. So you're kind of
well,
sweating,
that's the thing.
but it's not
If we
any
did
worse
this
than you're expecting.
yeah, if we did this after week 1, it's, like, feeling
Yeah.
dangerous.
Feeling
Like,
dangerous.
they came out and just went hard, and it was really impressive, and it's Justin Fields back. Aaron Glenn, who I do think is a good coach, he had them running the ball, he had them doing what he wanted, but, I mean, this is just still, at the end of the day, not a great team, and it just got shut down by the Bills, and now Fields is hurt, which not that he was playing that well anyway. I think sweating. Yeah, because I don't know, you didn't really expect to be that good, but I still think chillin' is inappropriate based on that performance from last week. Like, I think they are a bit nervous. So, Jets right there next to the Dallas Cowboys and sweating where they belong. Alright.
Yeah.
Five and then the other AFC East team is the Miami Dolphins sitting at 0 and
Oh,
2.
just purgatory. They're in
The
Sheol.
content
They're in
the
Abaddon. Like
content machine of the offseason is the Miami Dolphins.
Sheol and Abaddon. They're at the bottom of the bottom right now.
Tyreek Hill is already getting named in, like, more domestic violence, like, charges. He caught his
Tua's looking
first
like the
pass.
worst quarterback ever.
Tua looks so bad. I don't know, like, again, there's kind of a underrated idea out there that he has genuinely never been the same since his injury, and he can't push the ball deep anymore like he did in college. And by injury, I mean, like, his hip injury, not like his concussions.
Hmm.
Um, but he looks so bad. Like, I can't understate how bad Tua Tagovailoa looks, and that offense is literally designed around Tua Tagovailoa getting the ball out quickly to A-Chain and Hill and Waddle, and when he can't accurately do that, and I kn like, the meme on him for, like, several years has been, like, he underthrows deep balls, right? Like, that he's been doing that occasionally, but it still worked enough that it wasn't a problem. Tyreek Hill this Sunday, I don't know if you saw it, he caught his first pass of, like, over I think it was over 30 yards in, like, a year, like, a full
Wow.
year, and the way he did this was Tua saw him deep, open, and threw it, and he had to, like, back up to get it like it was a punt, and he managed to come down with it and get his that really just sums it up. Like, A-Chain is somehow a fantasy stud because he's, like, incredible and gets fed enough targets short that it works for fantasy.
Mhm.
But, I mean, the vibes are horrendous. The defense looks really bad, and I think some people thought maybe they'd have a good defensive line. The defense is not coming together at all. They're going in gnashing teeth. Tua probably won't be their quarterback much longer. Zach Wilson will feed families on the Dolphins if Tua gets benched this season. I don't think they're gonna bench him, like, because there is no backup behind him that has anything to prove to the team. Now, there is a very good chance he gets hurt at some point this season. It is Tua, but I do think it's very likely if they like lose a lot of games, especially and get a high pick, I think another quarterback gets drafted there. Like, that's not crazy at
Yeah.
all.
Yeah.
And I think Mike McDaniel is going to get fired. He's already talking like he's trying to get fired. So I mean, we'll have to see if they get a new coach who
You
that
think Mike
guy
McDaniels is going to
wants.
become offensive coordinator for the Lions?
I don't know. I mean, he was from the 49ers. Of course, the whole thing there is the offensive coordinator for the 49ers does not actually call the plays. Shanahan calls the plays. So it's kind of a weird dynamic with that team.
Mhm.
But I don't know where he'll end up. He'll get somewhere. I mean, I think he's a good offensive mind, but it's just not working. The whole stick with him is kind of worn off. I think it's done, and the Dolphins are absolutely gnashing teeth.
Yeah.
Okay,
Next
so
team,
New Orleans Saints.
gnashing of teeth.
Okay, I'm gonna
Actually,
disagree
I
with
want
you.
sweating. I want sweating for him.
I want chillin'.
Really.
I want to go higher. Because okay, their starting quarterback is Spencer Rattler. Spencer Rattler has looked competent through 2 games. How is
You
this
know
a
what? You're
thing that's
right.
happening?
That is true. That is true. I'd say chilling. You know what? Chilling is good. I like that
I
because
don't, well,
Spencer
okay.
Rattler looks pretty good. Not good, but like pretty
Now
good.
I
You know,
now here's the thing.
like
I understand
passable.
sweating. Okay, the general context of the team. Like if you consider everything going on, the fact that their GM and like just everyone in the front office uses the team to practice like shady tax accounting with the way they work their salary cap, you should as a fan overall, you're probably sweating slash gnashing teeth. Like you're somewhere in there, probably gnashing teeth because the team just has no future. Based on performance through 2 weeks, of football, you're either sweating or chilling. And
I think
so
chilling.
it's kind of which one do you wanna go on? I'm tempted to just kinda split the difference and go sweating, even though I know I originally said chilling.
I like chilling actually. I do like chilling.
I don't know. Of course, expectations were also, like, bottom of the league,
Oh,
and
yeah.
they're kind of
Expectations
there.
were 0-18 or whatever this number of games are.
I don't know, it's weird because it's like, unless you believe Spencer Rattler with 2 good performances is actually franchise quarterback, what are the bright spots? I don't know that there
Alvin
are any.
Kamara, of course, Olave is
Right, but, like,
injured
he
right
but
now.
by the time this team is good, Alvin Kamara will not be part of it.
Yeah.
Like, like, 5-year timeline we're talking here at least. So, I don't know,
Honestly,
like,
Spencer Rattler looks like he could be good. Like he looks like
yeah, but
if they keep working on him, he could realistically. I think he could be their franchise guy.
okay, like, first of all, I don't believe in Rattler. Second of all, if you do believe in Rattler, then you just come back to this is a team that had Rattler, who now you're saying is possibly good, and their first because they did not have a first round pick this last year. So they spent their first pick of the draft on Tyler Shuck, who was like a 25, 26-year-old rookie and is now, if Rattler is good, is now just their backup quarterback. And they take him already a weird pick, and they take him with their first pick instead of trying to improve the team around Rattler at all.
Yeah,
And so it's just like
it's a
honestly,
bad organization in general.
The Saints organization is like worse vibes from an organization almost. The Dolphins are close, and the Dolphins team has worse vibes. Also, because everyone forgets about the Saints, and the Dolphins grab every headline they can. But
Yeah,
I don't know, because I also the Titans are at the end here, and I look at like the Titans are a worse team, but the Titans, I think, have much more hope, especially from the fans. So I don't really feel like putting the Saints in chillin' right next to the Titans.
yeah. Let's put on sweating man. Yeah, I like
All
that.
right.
All right,
Okay.
next
All
team.
right. We got three. All right. Three more teams. Three teams left. So first of all, let's go ahead and do it. Chicago Bears. We may disagree a lot here. I'm willing to hear you out.
Gnashing of teeth. They look awful.
Okay. I'm gonna stand hard for chillin'.
Chilling.
I I think
They
they're
had
chillin'.
hopes of turning around their franchise, and now they look like they could be the worst they've ever been. No, not really, but
Okay. No, they're not. No, they're absolutely not though. That's the thing. Like, I don't know. They're not chilling in if you were like a very delusional Bears fan that thought you were headed to the playoffs, then they're disappointing you. If you were a sane Bears fan and you were just hoping for improvement, I think through 2 weeks there's enough cause for optimism. Now, okay, the funny like stat of the day that's going viral. Caleb Williams famously, when he got drafted, told the punter, "You're not going to punt too much here." And since then, that punter has punted more than any other punter in the NFL, which is incredible. But okay, game one was bad, and there's a lot of questions obviously about Caleb Williams, and there's like people are writing huge reports with anonymous sources just slamming Caleb Williams. I don't know. I feel like I have not seen like an immediate turnaround from Caleb Williams. I also don't feel like I've seen him just come out and look completely lost. Now, okay, early in games he looks good, but that's when obviously you're playing off of kind of your script going in, right? Like whatever the coach came up with before the week started. But I mean, I don't know. There was a stat I saw this week. Like he only had 2 plays out of structure. Like he's this week, like he's playing within the structure of the offense, which was a huge question for him. He's feeding Roma Dunze, who did not do great last year, but Roma Dunze was, a top 10 pick in the draft, and now looks like he could just kind of take over as their number one wide receiver as DJ Moore kind of gets older and fades out. Um, I mean, this season for a realistic Bears fan is all about trying to get this offense fixed. They still have no running back. DeAndre Swift is horrible, as we kind of suspected. They just really don't have a running game at all, and there's only so much you can do with that. I mean, you think about Ben Johnson coming from Detroit and trying to replicate the success, except he just has no running backs.
yeah,
Which, again, it's funny because when Ben Johnson started in Detroit, his running back was literally DeAndre Swift, and he got rid of him as quickly as he possibly could. Like he got him out of that team. They drafted Jameer Gibbs in round one, brought in David Montgomery, or David Montgomery might have already been on the team, but I don't know. Former Bears running back David Montgomery. I don't know. I feel like I've seen enough cause for optimism from the offense. I don't think with the 2 weeks together, Caleb has been horrible. I guess it's really what and okay, the defense is bad. A couple of their secondary guys have been injured. They already didn't really have much on defense, and now it's just a straight up complete liability. Like this is not a good team right now. Um, but it really comes down to expectations. Like if you were delusional and you thought the Bears were going to make the playoffs, then you're sweating. But I think if you were reasonable, you're chilling.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not allowed to talk about Caleb Williams, so yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah, we
Chilling.
banned that before the pod started.
Yeah.
No Caleb Williams takes. So, and also like the Bears and the Titans, the Bears slightly better talent on offense, better coach, I think, even though he's only coached for 2 weeks. Like I feel like the Bears and the Titans, I like Cam Ward more than Caleb Williams, but I don't think having those two like together is problematic.
Yeah.
Okay, two more
It's like
teams.
chilling.
Carolina Panthers.
Purgatory, dude. Your team is not good.
As a fan, I'm either gnashing teeth or I'm like, if there was a line right between Sven and gnashing teeth, I would be on it. Which I guess makes me gnashing teeth. Like I don't feel like it's Dolphins level panic. The Dolphins just need their own tier,
Yeah,
honestly.
let's
At
get the
this
Miami
point,
Dolphins here. Yeah.
I'm gonna do that. We're adding a tier. I because it just feels inappropriate. To okay, what color is this tier? I'm just gonna do
Like
it like
blue.
just gonna do. I'm gonna do like wait, I'm gonna do like light blue. Yeah, for the Dolphins. Sorry, I didn't even realize why you said that. I thought you just said a random color. Okay. All right, the Dolphins have officially been moved to a tier lower than every other team, which means the Panthers are going in gnashing teeth. Um, Bryce Young alternates between looking like a competent NFL quarterback and genuinely the worst NFL quarterback of all time, and he alternates this within games. Xavier Legette is a huge disappointment. He had negative receiving yards on like 8 receptions somehow, or 8 targets or something. Um, Tedero McMillan is him. Like he is genuinely him. He had a ridiculous like one-handed catch that didn't count because he was already out of bounds, but he caught a ball one-handed around a defensive back.
Wow.
He already I think he had 100 yards this week. He still hasn't scored a touchdown. I think that'll happen this week or coming up soon. Like I genuinely do think they found their number one receiver based off of 2 weeks. But I don't know. Chuba Hubbard is still fine. They really get is awful. Coker is on injured reserve. The defense, like they have their good players back, so it's no longer like worst defense in history, but it's not good. And their center and their guard, Robert Hunt, both got put on injured reserve after the game. And for a 5'9", 5'10" quarterback, I don't want
I
the
think he's 5'11", isn't
interior
he?
off something like that. For a short, small quarterback, I do not want the interior offensive line to be on injured reserve. Like that's not the position you want to lose. You would almost rather lose a tackle.
Hmm.
Like I don't know. It could be fine. Like we have a good backup guard who has played before. Like could do well again. The backup center has actually looked better than the current center at
Really?
times when he started in the past. So that whole thing with the line might not be skies falling, but there's also just a very good chance that Bryce Young, who I and many other people and a lot of people, just general NFL fans, hoped would take that step, just isn't going to do it. And maybe it's the team around him. Maybe it's the fact that he tries to spread the ball around to Xavier Legette, who is I'm ready to like trade Legette to the Cowboys. Like I want that to just go ahead and happen. I want him off the team. I'm already done. It's been like 1 year since they picked him with a 32nd pick, and I'm just already done. I don't want him around. He looks awful. I'm more done with him than I am. I'm still holding on hope for Young. I have no hope for Leggett. I'm done.
Mm.
Um, Panthers, Nash and Teeth. I'm a Panthers fan. I'm not without hope for Tedero McMillan, especially. Like I genuinely think he's great. Some of the defensive players are great. Bryce Young, I'm not like completely out on yet, but we hope for a lot better. Like people were picking the Panthers as a playoff sleeper. That's how out of hand the hype got before this offseason. And that's just
That's
not a
crazy.
thing. They look bad. It's ridiculous.
All right, next
So
team.
Panthers are Nash and Teeth, which brings us to the final team, the New York Football Giants. Um, what a team! What a vibe! What an entire just disaster of a first couple weeks in every possible way. I've never seen a more ridiculous start to a season. So week one,
Week one,
the
I
New
trade
York
away Malik
Giants.
Neighbors.
The New York Giants looked horrible. My read on it was Russell Wilson is going to play the same as he did in week one. He's going to get benched because no one on the Giants, Brian Dable, their coaching staff, no one can afford to lose. Like they're all on borrowed time. They probably should have all been fired already. Like they need to win yesterday. And so I don't I mean I this still holds true if he starts playing that again, which he will. I think like we just saw the last great game of Russell Wilson's career because the Cowboys have no defense at the moment. But so I do think he will be bad. I think we'll see Jackson Dart at some point this season.
Maybe even
But
Jameis Winston.
well, yeah, I don't know. It's just they
I
need to
love
win
Jameis
now.
Winston.
They need to show that the players they're picking can contribute. I don't know. Scadaboo had a great game, I thought, against the
Yeah.
Cowboys. Like week one, he just kind of had that one weird highlight where he like trucked people and got like 6 yards, and everybody acted like it was the greatest thing they'd ever seen. Like no one has ever trucked in the NFL before. Like I kind of saw that. I was like, y'all are overreacting. Against the Cowboys, he looked great. Like I really I saw Wandale Robinson. We're all getting tricked into that again. Like, what is Wandale Robinson gonna be a thing? Maybe. Right now, he's definitely a thing. Malik Neighbors is obviously just one of the best wide receivers in the NFL, possibly the best at catching the deep ball, which is also the only thing the thing Russell Wilson is best at. So I don't know. His phantom injuries are just like not a thing we're concerned about anymore with Neighbors. But I mean, it's still a bad team. The pass rush doesn't look as dominant, I think, as people hoped it would. They had an offensive tackle commit 4 penalties on 1 drive and get benched immediately. If you didn't see that,
That was funny. Yeah.
he had like 2 unsportsmanlike conduct fouls. He started yeah, that. He hit the slap across the face. Then he got benched and just screamed at Dable on the sidelines. Um, yeah, it wa
What an organization of the New York Football
so
Giants. They're really
yeah,
New
I mean,
Jersey. Why do we call them New York? They're the Jersey
I don't know.
Giants.
So, I don't know. Here's the thing. Also, before I rate them, this whole thing with putting Jackson Dart on the field to run these like designed read option, like that's making me mad. If Russell Wilson is playing well, because there was one specific series I saw on Sunday. I was watching the end of this game, and Russell Wilson first and 10, they get a few yards. They put in Jackson Dart for one of those read option plays on second down, and he gets nowhere. Like I think he handed the ball off, but it got nowhere because the defense knows a run is coming. And Russell Wilson, who is playing well, like I understand if Russell Wilson is not playing well, like get Dart on the field or just bench Russell Wilson. But Russell Wilson is having a good game, and you just pull him on second and long, and now it's third and long. And like I had this thought sitting there, like I cannot imagine what Russell Wilson is thinking right now. Like he's playing well, and you just pull him off for one play, and watch Jackson Dart come in and accomplish nothing, and then you have to come out there, and now it's a third and long instead of a second long, and there's just that added pressure on you. That was making me
Yeah,
mad. I don't know. I don't know why I
that's rough.
crashed out so much at like
Yeah, but
Jackson Dart
I do
appearances.
I do feel like they are chilling right now.
I think,
This is kind of what they were expecting, you know?
yeah, it is because the expectations were rock bottom.
And
I don't know. I think they hope the
they're
pass rush will
meeting
be
rock
better.
bottom.
I think they hope the pass rush will be better, but Scatterboo looks decent. The line looks terrible, as you would expect. I mean, the defense is just bad until the pass rush all figures it out at once. But Wandale Robinson is a plus. I mean, they're not gnashing teeth. I I don't know. I feel like if Jackson Dart had started this season, like if Russell Wilson just wasn't a thing, if Jackson Dart had had those 2 games, I think they would like absolutely be chilling because then you would have like a great game for Jackson Dart. We still haven't seen anything from him except read options that just haven't worked.
Mm.
So I'm a little hesitant been chilling because it's like next to teams like, but then also I did put the Browns in chilling who like
Yeah.
Joe Flacco has been playing quarterback. So now that I look at this, it's actually probably completely logically consistent to just also put the Giants up there above the Vikings, like any and Broncos, like any rational NFL ranker would.
This is panic index,
So
not power rankings.
it is the panic index. So
Well,
let's recap.
that's all of them.
We got all of them. So
32 teams
recapping,
in two
let's
hours.
yep. So buying free roll tickets, the most hyped fan bases based on 2 weeks. We have the Bills, Buccaneers, Packers, and Colts. And feeling dangerous, we had the Seahawks, the Ravens, the Lions, the Eagles, and the Chargers. We had we chillin', everything's kind of what you would expect. Rams, Cardinals, Falcons, Patriots, Browns somehow, Titans, Bears, and Giants. Fan bases that are sweating a little bit or even a lot: Bengals, 49ers, Vikings, Broncos, Steelers, Commanders, Cowboys, Jets, and Saints. Gnashing teeth, my Carolina Panthers. The Chiefs are gnashing teeth right now. The Jaguars, the Texans, the Raiders, and then down in their own at the bottom of the sea, we have the Miami Dolphins swimming around,
Yo
um,
and Abaddon. That's
wa-
where they sit.
waddling around. I don't know. Mike McDaniel's going to be fired by like week 5 or 6. Like, I there's nothing more I can say about the Dolphins. But
Yeah.
that's the list. So
You got
good
anything
work.
you
We did a
want to leave
podcast.
the viewers with?
I have absolutely nothing I want to leave the viewers with. I've been talking to the viewers for 2 hours. I think
Well,
they've heard all of me they want to hear.
I've got one thing to leave the viewers with. Go read your Bible, go pray, and go to church. That's all I gotta say.
I'll endorse that.